In this episode, I'm sitting down with Australian physiotherapist, founder of Athletic Rebuild, and dear friend of mine, Tayla Cannon, for a conversation that had to happen because between the two of us, we are seeing the same pattern over and over again. Women are exhausted, inflamed, in pain, struggling with stubborn weight gain, dealing with chronic flare-ups, and being told everything looks normal. So today, we're calling out what we believe is one of the biggest flaws in modern healthcare: treating symptoms instead of addressing root causes. Tayla works in chronic pain and injury. I work in hormones, gut health, and metabolism. And what we've realized is we're often solving the same exact problem, just from different angles. In this episode, we break down why chronic pain isn't always about the injured body part, how gut health and inflammation connect directly to joint pain, why normal labs don't mean optimal health, and the stress hormone piece most doctors are not testing, especially when it comes to stubborn weight gain. If you've been managing symptoms, bouncing between providers, trying the diets, supplements, and workouts, and still feel stuck, this conversation will feel like a deep exhale because the problem is not your body. It's the way we've been taught to treat it. Let's get into it. My people need your work and your people need my work.
Yeah. Agreed.
So what is something that you really wish that more people knew, like right off the bat, about chronic pain? I know that, like, as a physiotherapist, my mind goes to inflammation, chronic pain, weakness, instability. But I feel like what really brings people to you, and probably what brings people to me, is their pain. Like, that's what's top of mind. So what's something that you wish more people knew?
I think people, like you said, you think of pain and instantly you think of movement, you think of inflammation, but nobody thinks of the big picture, and that is our whole lifestyle. You know, pain isn't just movement. Movement is not the only factor to our pain. Pain is encompassed by sleep, diet, stress, work. All the things that you do with your clients are things that I do with mine as well, because at the end of the day, there is no one thing that is the cause of whatever is going on in our body, right?
Yeah.
Just like you see with what you do. You know, people come to you with, this is my symptom, but that is compounded by this variable and this variable and this variable and this variable.
Yeah.
That I think you and I both have that frustration too with the traditional system, because for me, people come to me and say, I've had chronic knee pain for years and I keep seeing all these specialists and they keep looking at my knee. Just like you say, you have people come to you, and you can expand on this, but they come to you with this one symptom that they continue to be treated for this one symptom.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was literally poolside with my husband yesterday, and I was thinking about drawing out like a map of how many different symptoms can be actualized just from one root cause. Like just from yeast and bacterial overgrowth, I'm talking like chronic inflammation, chronic joint pain, bloating, brain fog, hormonal acne. Like the gut is really like the epicenter of your health. And I listed off like 10 or 15 different symptoms, and I was like, for this symptom, they're going to recommend spironolactone. For this symptom, they're going to recommend metformin. For this symptom, they're going to recommend aspirin. For this symptom, they're going to recommend Tylenol or some kind of a pain reliever. For this symptom, they're going to recommend an antibiotic. Whereas in my work, I'm trying to figure out what is the actual root cause that is causing this cascade of symptoms. And that's truly what I wish that more people knew, is that the way that our conventional health system is functioning today is incredibly unsustainable. And people are starting to pick up on that. So it sounds like you feel like you wish that more people knew that. Kind of similarly for me, like if you have pain in your knee, it may not be your knee.
Yes.
It's like there's other things that can play in, and you have to get to the root cause of what's actually causing the pain.
Yeah. And I think to echo what you say, to put it into context for me, the most frustrating thing that I hear too is, you know, everyone says, I have back pain. What is the best thing for back pain? Just like people are like, I have a hormonal imbalance. What's the best thing for hormonal imbalance?
Yes.
Every single person is different. Like I could have the exact same presentation as somebody sitting right next to me. We both have back pain. It might be left-sided unilateral back pain that is painful on deadlifts. But the reason of mine, or the root cause of mine, is very different to theirs. So the way in which we each would be treated to fix the root cause would be so different. So there is no way for me to just say to somebody, you have back pain, do this.
Yeah.
Just like you would say to somebody, if you have hormonal imbalances, I can't just say do this. I need to work out why you have a hormonal imbalance. And I think that's what traditional healthcare doesn't do.
No.
They're
not trained on that.
No. And that's the thing. Like, and that's what I had to unlearn too.
Yeah.
Is that we were pretty well taught cookie cutter approaches, generically speaking, in the sense that you have this is the exercise you give. And I think stepping into the real world, I was like, why is nobody getting better?
Yeah. I've seen you talk about how, like, just recently you posted about answering the question that you get frequently, like, where did you learn how to do this stuff? And you were like, nowhere, babe. Like,
yeah, right.
I studied anatomy and I created a method that makes sense for real world restabilizing, remobilizing, it sounds like.
Yeah, exactly right. It's like, this isn't something that you can teach to a degree, but the thing is, there are concepts, just like there are concepts to what you do, to which if you understand each concept in such detail and depth, you can look at somebody and know what to do. And it's so hard to articulate that to somebody that doesn't get it. It's like, it's not a quick fix. It's not a here, do this. It's, can you take these concepts and apply them to a real world when human beings are not textbook?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I guess for you, like, you know, I say that I have lots of people coming to me and they say, I have back pain, what should I do? What do you feel people are coming to you most frequently saying or presenting with?
Yeah. By far, fatigue. Yeah, women are fatigued.
Yeah.
You thought I was going to say something else.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought you were going to say, but it's so true.
Yeah, it's fatigue, it's bloating, and it's weight gain. Like, top three by far.
I feel that.
Yeah, and we're band-aiding fatigue with caffeine. We are using every wellness influencer's recommendation under the sun to treat bloating. And weight gain, like, that's a whole can of worms. I mean, with the GLP-1s that are coming out, with, you know, across the last couple decades, like, there's been the keto diet, the alkalizing diet, there's like so many different diets to try to treat the weight gain. But what I see, the flaw in all of them is honestly what you just said. You just said that how you get to the bottom of the same symptom with someone may be a completely different root cause, and or same root cause, different approach to resolving. Yeah. Same thing in my world is I can't just give every single person the same caloric intake recommendation and assume that everyone's metabolism is in the same place.
Yeah, good point.
Because the functioning of your metabolism depends on the receptibility of your cells. If you are chronically inflamed, your cells are not responding to insulin the way that they should be. And I'm talking not just people that are pre-diabetic and not people that are type 1 or type 2 diabetic. Like that, I'm not just talking about those people. What I really wish more women knew was that your blood sugar stabilization and your insulin sensitivity is impacting every woman that's alive.
Yeah. Like,
it's not just something that you should be informed on if you are pre-diabetic or full-blown diabetic. So that is why I strongly am against calories in, calories out. Because that treats a human being like a robot and not like an ecosystem, like a biological ecosystem. Your nervous system has a profound impact. Like, it literally leads your metabolism. It impacts your thyroid significantly, your endocrine system, your digestive system, like where you absorb your nutrients. And so what mode your body is sitting in, whether in your parasympathetic nervous system mode or in your sympathetic nervous system mode, which is either rest and digest, where your body feels safe to ingest resources and deploy them all across the body, versus when you're in survival mode, when you ingest energy, food, your body is going to allocate that energetic resource specifically to the organs and the systems that supply your survival tactics, like your lungs, your heart, your brain, your muscles, because it's preparing for fight or flight. And it stores fat, like specifically fat in the midsection is very much correlated to your stress hormones. And that's a big thing that I'm really frustrated about with conventional medicine, is that women are going to their medical providers looking for answers as to why they are completely weight loss resistant, and they're not checking their stress hormones. They're just checking their estrogen, progesterone, maybe, hopefully, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, thyroid hormones. The stress hormones drive the pattern that the sex hormones and the thyroid hormones land in. And that controls the metabolism. And that is the piece that conventional practitioners are missing today.
Yeah, and I can validate that myself recently.
Yeah.
Like that is, I think, a big conversation between you and I as well. Me personally, what I've been going through since being here, and that is exactly that, this unexplained weight gain. And for me, being somebody that has moved religiously for years, eaten well religiously for years, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And just
I looked at your labs.
Yeah, exactly.
I looked at your labs and they were missing your estrogen. They weren't testing all of your thyroids, and they didn't test anything about your stress hormones.
And every time that I have had them tested, they come back and they say, everything looks good. And I keep saying something is not right.
Yeah.
You know, this doesn't make sense. I am well aware of how my body functions, and I know it is not functioning as it should.
Yeah.
And then they come back with, oh yeah, but you know, you're at that age where things start to plateau. I'm like, not with the way I move. I ain't letting that shit happen.
Yes. And what I'm loving is that so many women are unsubscribing. They're like, they're listening to their intuition. They're like, no, I know that something's wrong, and I'm going to knock on however many doors it takes to get the answers.
Yes.
And why labs are coming back normal is because in conventional medicine, you are either diagnosed or you are normal. And one of the biggest difference between functional lab testing and conventional lab testing is that we are watching how you are trending. If you're trending towards becoming a pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic, we can see that. So why don't, if we see that you're trending in that direction, let's intervene before it becomes a full-blown issue.
Right.
But with conventional medicine, they're not really permitted to prescribe unless you are falling within these specific pillars or thresholds in the lab tests, and for liability reasons. Yeah.
And I remember back in Australia, this blows my mind now that I'm like finally working things out with you, really digging deep, because this has been something with me for years. And I remember going to a doctor back in Australia maybe 4 years ago, and he was like, okay, it was an endocrinologist or a specialist of some kind.
Yeah, that's a hormone specialist, by the way. Yeah.
And he was like, let's run weekly labs for several months to get a picture of what's going on. So we did that, and it was very clear that I was not ovulating. So in my mind, I'm like, yes, an answer. And then he goes, well, you're not planning on getting pregnant, so just come back to me when you plan to. Yeah. And looking back now, I'm like, dude, this is 4 years later and it just keeps getting worse. You could have helped me then. Yeah. And I think that's the most frustrating thing with the traditional healthcare system as a whole. It's this cookie cutter approach again. It's just, you have this, we do this. Oh, it's not working? That sucks.
Yeah.
There's no, and look, and it's not to speak against the people in it, because you know,
it's the system that they were educated through and surrounded around. Like, that's a significant reason why I don't take insurance, is because the insurance companies control what practitioners can do more than most people know.
Oh yeah.
Like, there are doctors that really want to do more, and insurance declines it.
Yeah. And I think that's highlighted to me since moving to America, because Australia, it's still a thing. Yeah. I mean, me too, have stopped taking insurance just because the way in which I function is not that is traditional or conventional. But coming to America, what I saw in the PT world, which blew my mind, is everything is dictated by the primary care physician, who has, respectfully, primary care physicians, has no understanding of what the hell is going on. Absolutely none. And they're the ones that gets to say, okay, you can continue to see your PT, or let's discontinue. And again, I haven't worked within the insurance model. This is just through people that I know, so I'm sorry if I get this incorrect. But I also under the impression that insurance will only cover you per injury. So to give you a story, a client can go to a PT and say, I have awful back pain, I have this chronic shoulder pain. And the PT then has to say, well, insurance has only approved you for back pain, so I can only treat you for your back today. They have to then go back to their primary care physician.
What?
Yeah, it's just backwards. And this is what frustrates me too, and all comes, this is a roundabout thing to why we do what we do, is that everything is connected.
Yes.
Everything is connected. And that is the one thing that I think this shouldn't be such a different thing, but it is, and it's that I look at the whole body. And in my mind, I'm like, we live in a kinetic chain that is connected from our head to a toe. Why is nobody looking at the whole body? Just because someone comes to me with knee pain, that could be coming from the hip, that could be coming from the spine. Maybe the way in which they rotate their thoracic spine, the way their shoulders move is then contributing what's going down the chain. So of course I've got to look at the whole body.
Yeah.
But everybody just looks at the one thing. And that's, I think, the big thing that frustrates me with the traditional healthcare system. And I think that's what you and I both live in. And that's why we've now come to create this new model that works differently, but is actually getting results.
Yeah, absolutely. So on that point, what, like, if I come to you, like, for example, you actually did a physical exam of me recently. So let's walk them through it. So I have chronically had lower back, like hip pain. And some chiropractors have told me that one side of my body is taller than the other, like one of my legs is longer than the other or something like that. And I have to be really meticulous about my form when I lift, because if I go out of form, even just for a hot second, it will tweak and I am out, cannot lift anything for like 6 to 8 weeks. And it's all about, it's just like my lower back is very vulnerable to poor form, and it'll kind of break out into an inflammation flare if that happens. So you did an assessment of me. So what were some things that you noticed? And how do you do assessments, like, for people that don't know?
So I think to zoom out, let's say you were a client of mine and we went through my system. I already know you, so we didn't do this part. But if I'm going to work with anybody, before I do any sort of assessment, I'm going to work out, okay, talk me through the history of this pain, which is very standard what any physio would do. And then they go through this subjective history, let's rate your pain, what aggravates it, what eases it.
Yeah.
That's a part of my subjective, but a big part of my subjective is then going, tell me about your sleep. Do you sleep well? Do you sleep 8 hours a night? Are you sleeping through the night? Are you stressed? What's work like? How are you eating? Do you recover? Do you have any recovery days, or are you training every day? Okay, talk me through your training. Do you have your program? Can you send it to me? Like, I want the details. Give me the load, the volume. How long have you been doing this for? Has it been like this for the past year? That is what I want to know before I step into an assessment.
Okay.
Because that tells me so much than an assessment.
State of mind, like state of lifestyle, state of relationship to movement.
And like, this is the lowest hanging fruit, and you don't fall into this bucket, but let's theoretically say that you do. Let's say I just jump straight into, okay, let's see how you move. And I assess all these things, I see these deficits, and we start treating it, but I didn't find out that you slept 3 hours every night. If I'd worked that out, I would have said, stuff the assessment, go home, let's get on a sleeping protocol and get you sleeping 8 hours a night. And then let's see how it presents, because very, very likely you would come back and go, I feel good. And actually it's not there anymore. I train as I want to train. I'm actually not worried. Nothing flares up. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So that is like the lowest hanging fruit that nobody talks about at all.
Gosh. In my work too, like 100x.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, like you restore, detoxify, and regenerate when you sleep.
Yeah.
And that is step number one for me in my work as well, is if you want to have balanced hormones, you have to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep at night.
Absolutely.
It impacts everything, but one thing that I will significantly highlight is how much it impacts your hunger hormones, your ghrelin 100%. And your leptin. Like, people think of hormones as just being your testosterone and your estrogen. You have stress hormones, you have hunger hormones, you have thyroid hormones. Like, it's a whole system, and they all speak to one another. And when you get not enough sleep at night, your ghrelin hormone is damn near impossible to satisfy, because your body is in a deficit of sleep.
Yeah.
But it still has to function. So it's going to ask you for sugar and carbs all throughout the next day so that it can survive, so that it can keep you active.
Yeah.
And so I just really appreciate hearing you talk about how when it comes to identifying the root causes of the pain and doing the assessment, that you do actually take the time to understand the state of lifestyle and state of mind that your clients are in, because that plays such a big role. And right before we hopped on and we're recording, we were actually talking about how inflammation is such a crossover between our work. But you said something that like really surprised me. You said not all pain is inflammation. So like, please share on that, because that was even eye-opening to me.
And this point that I will speak to is something that becomes very clear to me during this initial conversation that I have with my clients as well. And while we all associate chronic pain with inflammation, that's likely the case, but there is this point where there is a neural involvement, and it's about our circuitry, our brain wiring. You know, if something exists within our body for a long period of time, we just continue to reinforce this pain signaling that our brain says, you are damaged, you are in pain, tighten, tension, protect. And that continues beyond the physical structural problem. And that is something that is so common. Like if someone comes to me and says, you know, it's funny, people identify by their diagnoses. They come and then they tell me, oh, yeah, I've got patellar tendonitis. I'm like, okay, who told you that? Oh, so-and-so. When did they tell you that? 10 years ago. Huh, interesting. Okay. Tell me more about that. And then they reinforce this pattern within their body. Oh, every time I do this, I get pain.
Yeah.
And it's something that if we do that over and over, we continue to tell ourselves that over and over, our brain will continue to tell us we are in pain, even though there is no structural damage. So that is something that is so important with my clients specifically, is jumping on that call initially and going in depth with lifestyle specifically, because I need to understand, is there a brain pattern we need to rewire here first? Because I could get you doing all the things. I could be damn Einstein, best rehab plan in the world. It ain't going to do shit.
Yeah.
If I don't work out how can I break this habit. And this is what I say to all my clients too, particularly back pain. And I lived this back pain too. You know, before I created Athletic Rebuild, the company that I do physiotherapy through, I myself had chronic back pain for years, and it ate away at my life. And that's because, you know me, I live in the gym, I live and breathe it. And it is not just an aesthetic, it's good for me, so I show up and do it sort of thing. It's, I'm going to have a shit day if I don't train today.
Yeah.
And then when that
it's like medicine. That's what I tell people too. Like my morning walk is like my dose of medicine.
100%. And it absolutely is. Like there's evidence for it.
Yeah.
I mean, tangent here, but before I became a physio, I was in biomedical science and I was working with these PhD students in stroke research. But the thing that got me there is because I did my own study comparing the effect of exercise in comparison to benzodiazepines, which is like anxiety meds.
Okay,
and the effect it has on the neurotransmitters in our brain. Exercise showed to be exactly the same, if not better, than these medications.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah, because
nobody wants
to hear that. Pharmaceutical world. Yeah, let's tell the world.
You can do the work and get the same result, or you cannot do the work and take this medication. That's the thing. But there's side effects that come with medications.
But what people don't realize is that exercise has the ability to fix so many things that people don't think of exercise first. It's like, oh, I'll do it when I'm better.
Yeah. Like, no, it's not just about how sexy you look. Like, I'm glad for you. Like, I totally support desiring, feeling good and sexy and attractive in your body. But it's about functioning.
Yes.
Like, one of the simplest way that I like to break it down for my clients is like, the human body was designed to move.
Yeah.
If you do not move, it will break down and it will become inflamed. And there will be a cascade of symptoms that are irreversible unless you start moving the body.
Exactly.
There is nothing that can replace the role that movement plays in the strategy. But to that point, I do have clients sometimes, and this is exactly why I say my clients need you and your clients need me, because reactivating and healing the metabolism absolutely requires movement and requires healthy skeletal muscle. It requires a basic amount of activity a day, which my recommendation is at least 10,000 steps.
Agreed.
And my clients sometimes will come to me with like plantar fasciitis or something that is preventing them from being able to get the movement in, where they're literally fearful of getting in a workout so that and so much to the point where they will avoid it completely.
Yes, exactly. And I think that comes back to that point before I went off on that tangent of how movement is medicine, is that if we have people like that have wired in their brain, if I do this, it will cause pain.
Yeah.
That is not a structural, that is not an inflammatory problem. That is a brain pattern that we need to change first. And that is, again, is why it's so important to do this deep dive holistically before you step in and localize and assess.
Yeah.
So then to like backtrack again in terms of what I do, that is what I start with, that conversation, to identify those things. And then that's when I step into an assessment. And again, what's different to other physios is that I don't just look at the knee, I don't just look at the joint above and below, which again is what you're taught in school. I look at the whole body.
Okay.
Because it's all connected.
Right.
And from there, I then, run a full analysis and I let my client know what I'm seeing, because I remember so many times when I was out of physio for this damn back pain, I would be there, he'd do all this stuff really quickly because you're always on a time crunch there. You've got like 15 minutes and how the hell are you supposed to help someone in 15 minutes?
Yeah.
So get you doing all this stuff, and then he started doing some random breathing stuff with me, put his hands on my ribs and he'd be like, okay, breathe. And he's like, yeah, that was a good one. I'm like, I don't know how the hell that was a good one, but all right. And he's like, no, that one wasn't good. And I was like, okay. And he's like, breathe again. And he's like, yeah, that's good. Okay, how's your back? And I was like, I don't know what the hell you just did. And he's like, okay, go practice that at home. And I'm like, what? So I
People need to understand the why.
Yes.
People need to. I am that annoying client where, like, especially if I'm like going to a chiropractor, and I go to a wonderful chiropractor here in Austin. Shouts out August Chiropractic. Every time that she adjusts me in some kind of new way, I'm like, oh, why did you do it there? Like, why did you do it that way? And she is so well educated and she's passionate about her work. So she wants me to understand. When people understand the why behind why, like, what is the impact that this is making to benefit me? That is what fuels them coming back and valuing the work that you're doing together.
Exactly.
If it's just like pop them in, pop them out, it's like, all right, well, I'm just going to do this the minimal amount as possible and keep on going on with life.
Yes, exactly.
But I really, oh my gosh, the amount of like triggers that popped up in my head about client stories about identifying as your diagnosis or identifying with your pain. Like I literally just the other day had a wonderful woman reach out to me in my DMs, and something she shared with me was that she was a PCOS girly. I want to talk to the woman whose ambition is high, but whose body hasn't been keeping up. Lately, you're pushing through fatigue, brain fog, stubborn weight changes, painful cycles, telling yourself you just need to tighten things up. Maybe eat cleaner, train harder, be more disciplined. But here's the truth. You've never lacked discipline. You've lacked the right answers. I know, you've done the labs, they all came back normal, your doctor says everything looks fine, but you know you don't feel fine. And when your body starts falling behind your ambition, I know it's scary because you have big goals, big responsibilities, and shrinking your life or lowering your standards is not an option. That's exactly why I created the root cause analysis. This is a private one-on-one session with me, guided by industry-leading functional hormone testing that you can complete right from home in less than 15 minutes. I don't guess. I use data to uncover what's actually driving your symptoms at the root. This isn't another generic plan or trendy supplement protocol. I actually take the time to investigate the root cause, guide you through what to address first, and how to move forward strategically, not reactively. You'll leave with a personalized core healing protocol built around your body's needs. My clients resolve in 8 weeks what they've struggled with for decades trying to figure out through standard care. If you've quietly been wondering, what if this is just how it is now? It's not. There is a reason, and there is a solution. If you're ready for real relief and real results, the link to reserve your root cause analysis is in the show notes. The investment is $7.99 and there are limited spots available. Let's get your body back on your team. And I feel like TikTok is like so good for kicking off these trends of like being 100%. Like a Lexapro girly or a PCOS girly, or like Truly just anything that and I don't hate it, because it does create like a sense of community, and it makes people feel less isolated whenever they can connect with other women that have the similar diagnosis, and they can collaborate and support one another. But my hitch with it is also that when we identify with a diagnosis, we embody it.
Yes.
And we don't believe that it's something that we can release.
Yes.
We believe that it is who we are.
Yes.
And that is extremely problematic.
Absolutely. And I think that's what you and I both speak to with all of our clients, because you and I have had these conversations, and that people come to us with the assumption that it won't get better. It's just, oh, well, let's just try another thing because I've tried all the other things. But they don't come with this mentality of, maybe this is, like, I will live without this in the future.
Right.
It's like, maybe I'll live better next. But it's never like, and when they experience that, because you and I have both experienced that with our clients that come to us and, identify by something, and they speak in a way where you're like, yeah, they don't think they're going to get better at all. And no one's ever told them that they're going to get better either. People are like, well, we can manage it. This is what we can do to manage it.
Yes.
Like, this is going to be around for the rest of your life.
Yes. I literally just had a client yesterday that I was speaking to, 15-year-long battle with IBS, gastritis, GERD, like all digestive and yeast bacterial, leaky gut related issues she's been dealing with. She told me she's gone to all the doctors, all the different specialists. And first of all, I just gave her the floor to tell me her story. And that is, like, in my world, how I start with my clients is listening.
Yeah.
Giving them the time to tell me what their lived experience has been. And she shared with me for about 15 minutes how many different attempts that she has made to try to heal the symptoms that are incredibly disruptive to her life. And it dawned on me that not a single provider that she went to ever told her that the gut can heal. Nobody told her that the body can heal. Nobody has ever had that conversation with her. 15 years.
Yeah.
Like almost 5 to 6 different practitioners that I believe she had been to. No one had the conversation with her that she is not IBS. She is not GERD. She is not stuck with this thing, because it can be addressed if you can get to the root cause and dedicate time and focus to actually healing. But before all of that, you have to get to the belief that the body can heal. And that, if I had to put it in a nutshell, the biggest difference between conventional medicine and functional nutrition, it is the belief that the body can heal.
Yeah.
Conventional medicine does not, most of the time, from my personal experience, does not believe in the body's ability to heal. It believes that there are symptoms, and this is the medication that maps to it.
Yeah, exactly.
In functional health, it's about identifying what the body is missing, what is a void, what is out of balance, what is overproducing, what is underproducing, what's underfiring. Figure that out. And the body was brilliantly designed to know how to heal.
Yeah. Our body is so resilient, and that's what I say to people.
So resilient. Yeah.
So often. I think a client of mine came to mind as you were saying that. I had a girl come to me, this was probably like 6 to 12 months ago now, and she came to me with bilateral knee pain. And she spoke in a way where she was like, look, I've seen all the people. I know I'm never going to be able to run again. I can't do X, Y, and Z, but they're telling me that my only option is surgery, and I really don't want it. So it looks like you do something different, and I'd rather opt for that and just see if my knees start to feel better. But it wasn't a matter of, I want to do this so I can be pain-free again, because she didn't believe that she would be. And I love those clients. They're my favorite. I love, 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 love those clients. And truthfully, they're predominantly the ones that I work with now. It's the ones that come to me and they say, I have done every single provider under the sun.
Yeah.
I have no options left, maybe surgery. Help. And what I love about that, and her specifically, like, I heard that and I was like, oh, you want to just get better? Watch this. She's running now. She's lifting. She has no knee pain. She was going to go under the knife and have bilateral, probably knee replacements at a very young age. What? She doesn't need any of that. And she's only 6 months in with me. And that is not to speak to me and how good I am. That is how the traditional system fails, and how it takes somebody to zoom out, look at the big picture, and actually just give someone time. Like, let them speak. How many times have you been to a doctor and you start to like, and they just like quickly wrap it up? Sorry, we don't have much time. Okay, I got it. So you've got this. And it's like, oh, whatever. Okay, you don't know what you did. You don't get it.
Yeah.
And there's no empathy either.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing
like the lack of passion.
Yes.
And like, I get it. There are some, like, I have to say that I know that doctors are not put in a position to be successful in a lot of ways because it is such a business.
Yeah.
And I get it, it's a business. But I do think that doctors need to really speak up and out and to really reconnect to the passion of the work that they committed to. And speaking of passion, I have a very strong belief that passion really comes from having endured and having had your own experience with something. So I would really love for you to share, like, where did this passion for this work come for you? Because obviously you did not just go to school, take the blueprint and apply it. You were like, I really want to make an impact. I really want to help these people, and I'm going to recreate the wheel if that's what it takes. So like, what is the story behind that?
Yeah, I guess to try to summarize this and put this into a short story, before becoming a physiotherapist, I had that chronic back pain. Yeah. Years of back pain. And like I said, I'm this avid fitness goer that training to me isn't just a physical thing, it's a mental thing. And when it got to the point where I was like, holy shit, this is ruining my life. Like, I am fixating on this pain that is stopping me from doing everything that I love. And I kept going to the physio, and they just kept doing like real low load, irrelevant, truthfully, type movements, a lot of manual therapy.
You want to be able to lift heavy.
Yes. And this was my frustration, is that they were doing all symptom treatment, hands-on stuff. Hands-on stuff doesn't fix you. And this is what frustrates me, and I might expose some physios here, and this doesn't apply to all, but physios do manual therapy often, one, because it does desensitize, and desensitization has a place. But it also gives your clients a reason to think you can make a change, because it gives a temporary effect. Okay. Manual therapy is just a stimulus to interrupt that brain cycle for a short while, that pain cycle. But then it comes back, so there's no fixing it. And that's what I was experiencing, all this symptom treatment, dry needling, cupping, all these things. And it's like a year in, I'm like, this is not working. And at the same time, I'm studying, I'm like, shit, this doesn't work. But then I sat there and thought, and at the back end of my studies, I was like, they never looked at my training. They never looked at my lifestyle. I'd go there, lie on the bed, they'd massage me. They'd get me doing a few like glute bridges, classic for back pain. But then I'd go to the gym and still lift 250 pounds. I don't actually know what that is in kilos. I'm estimating here. Lots of weight.
Girl strong, okay?
Yeah. And I was still going to the gym. I was doing too much load, too much volume, really poor training style. And nobody looked at that. And so, fast forward to becoming a physio, I was like, I never want someone to experience what I experienced. Yeah. And two, I hated being in the clinic because it made me feel like a dumbass, honestly, because these people would come to me and I'm like, okay, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I need to work this out, this out, this out. Oh shit, time's up. So I'm like, I look like a dumbass because I don't have enough time to do what I want to do. And then if you're working as an employee, the way for your clinic to make money is to see more people, which means if I see more people, I have less time. So it just failed me. I was like, no, no, because I want to treat well, and this system doesn't let me. And I've experienced the system, and it still doesn't, it's not doing what I want it to do. So then fast forward to me creating Athletic Rebuild, I sat there and I thought, how can I do this in a way where I do it differently, and I do it in a way that gets people out of pain rather than just feeds the pain cycle and gets them out of pain for a few days, for a few weeks, and then they come back. Yeah. Because for me, this isn't a money thing. And, at the time, circumstantially, it wasn't, this wasn't a thing that I started as, okay, this is going to be my job. I was in a different career, and I missed being a physio because I left the traditional world because I just didn't agree with it. Okay. And I was like, damn, I miss being a physio. So let's just do this as like a little passion project that very quickly had turned into something very big. Yeah. And that's not to speak to my intelligence, it's to speak to a new system that actually works. Yeah. And I mean, you had a similar experience too, in that you lived everything you do with your clients, right? Yeah. Yeah, talk us through that.
Yeah. So I, similarly to you, was also in a different career path than I am in now. And I was in technology sales for 7, 8 years, and I really was crashing out. Like, I could not keep up with the capacity that work demanded. And it wasn't that space was responsible for that. It was really that my management of myself was not in alignment with the caliber of output and performance that I needed to bring to that space. And when I was, I want to say probably about 3 or 4 years into enterprise technology sales, I was really starting to realize how unsustainable my lifestyle was. Staying out late, drinking 4 to 5 nights a week, and just battling through migraines every day, brain fog, cystic acne, weight gain, painful periods, mood swings, irritability. I really just was like, I feel terrible. Like, it had to come to a moment where I was like, I feel terrible. And I was not alone in that. Anytime I would talk about like how poorly I felt with the people around me, they were like, yeah, girl, I know. Yeah, girl, I know my brain is foggy too. Like, I am so tired. Da, da, da. And I was just like, got honestly sick of complaining about myself. And I had actually had a run-in with Western medicine when I was in college that really rewired my relationship and brain towards how vulnerably I would depend on the Western medicine approach. When I was in college, I was misdiagnosed with ADHD, and I was prescribed Adderall for about 4 years. And it really dysregulated my nervous system. And after I got off of it, it took about a year for me to really fully recover. And since that experience, I was like, okay, I am not going to be blindly trusting Western medicine for all of my health needs. And because of that experience, I really started to look up like, okay, how can I heal anxiety, panic attacks, cystic acne? Like, I just like would start Googling symptoms and like, okay, like what can I do to naturally resolve this? Yeah. And everything pointed to sleep, first and foremost, movement, sunshine, nourishing meals, environment, purpose, like all things that are functional health are what Google was drafting me to when I was looking for answers as to how to not be dependent upon the medications, because I had dealt with the side effects of being misdiagnosed and taking a medication. That was one of the hardest things I've ever had to pull myself through. So because of that and how drastically I was able to heal these things that my Western medicine doctors were telling me I was going to be stuck with for the rest of my life, I was like, more women need to know about this. Like, I didn't see anybody around me doing what I was doing. And I was like, this has given me my life back. I want this for the people around me. And so it started with me like absolutely just drilling down my parents and like, we need to get everybody's nutrition in check, like this, like wake up. Yeah. And I really started to realize that if you want to inspire the people around you to make changes, you just have to lead by example. Yes. And the people that really want to have you as a guide will come to you. You will magnetize them. And that is really what brings me to today. I left the corporate career, and I am supporting women full time. And it has been the most impactful, fulfilling, rewarding, best work of my life to do. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like, it gives me so much purpose, and I see the purpose that it gives you too. And I really feel like the reason why you and I both have created our own practices is because we know, like, we want to do it our way.
Yes.
Like, I'm not going into somebody else's practice and having to forfeit my integrity.
Correct.
At the cost of my client's well-being.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like, the passion exudes out of you. You see it in the way that you speak. You see it in the way that, like, you live. You're an example of everything that you do. And I think that's why you attract the type of women that you attract, because you live it. And I think that is so, so important in any career. Mm-hmm. It made me think straight away, you know, there's this one thing in physiotherapy that I don't quite understand. And it is physios that don't go to the gym themselves. I mean, good on you. Good on you that you somehow worked out how the hell to treat people without never doing it yourself.
Mm-mm.
But how?
I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
No.
You have to lead by example.
Yeah, you do.
You have to walk the walk.
And that's one thing that I say to people too, like when you are looking for any sort of health provider, mm-hmm. find one that does the things that you do.
Yes.
You know, and that's even like, to be very specific, you know, let's say you are a CrossFitter with a recurring injury. Find a PT that does CrossFit.
Yeah.
Because there are so many technicalities to that a standard strength and conditioning coach may not know. Mm-hmm. You know, find someone that's lived your experience to some degree, because there is an element of empathy that needs to exist with your provider. You know, I am so emotionally invested in what I do, just like you are, that, oh my gosh, whenever I get these messages from clients and they just send me these things that I just think, holy shit, did I really do that?
Yeah.
Did I actually do that?
100%, I don't think that our clients realize how much their health journey means to us.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, it is part of our DNA.
Oh, it's like
part of our DNA, and like how much confidence that gives us as practitioners. Like, we did that, girl. Like,
hell yeah, we did.
fucking did that.
But I mean, in saying that too, like that, it takes me back to, I remember when I very first started, and in my head, I'm thinking, holy shit, can I actually do this? Like,
yes.
Because, and two, I think there's this misconception about physiotherapy that needs to change, and that is currently my goal right now, is that physiotherapy is not what people think it is. Physical therapy, you know, people have this idea of it being like a one-stop shop. You go there, 1 session, 2 session, they give you a quick little massage, and then you get better. That's not it. And that's not working in the favor of your provider either. And we need to change that. And I think that's what you and I do really well, is that we provide a service that is based off of value. We are not, okay, you're going to work with us for 10 sessions. Yeah. We're going to work together to get you here.
Yes.
And that is a system that needs to take place to get you to that spot. It is not okay, you can have my time for an hour at a time, twice a week, for 10 sessions. Like, it's just, that doesn't make sense. And that's what needs to change.
It has to be custom. It has to be customized.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about the Rebuilder. What are you building, and who is it for? Like, what purpose are you serving?
Okay, so we're exposing that. Let's talk to it. Whoa. Hello, everybody. So right now I have my company, Athletic Rebuild, which is what I treat all of my patients. That is the company that treats my patients. And because I have created, I guess, somewhat of a new model, I utilize lots of different softwares to provide my service, because there is nothing right now built out for what I do.
Yeah.
And recognizing how many PTs see what I do and go, oh my gosh, like, there is a way to serve better. There is a way to do more, and there is a way to have a life in what I do, because we live in this world. If you're working in the traditional healthcare model that works with insurance, you are getting ran to the ground. Honestly, props to these PTs that work in the traditional model. They see upwards of 20 people a day. It's 100 people a week. I would be a terrible human being day 2.
Oh, facts.
Absolutely not.
Facts.
And my ability to treat you, no matter how smart I am, is going to be shit.
Yes.
We live in this world right now where PTs are burnt out and they want to leave, or they want to find another way.
Okay.
So I think me living this and going, holy shit, this works. One, I was like, okay, I need a better system that makes my job more efficient. But two, I want this system to be available to everybody.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to gatekeep this. And that was the thing that I experienced stepping into this niche, was it's very gatekept. You know, I had to pay, as business coach, a whole lot of money that PTs don't have. If you are only a PT, you don't make much money. And you cannot afford to just whip out 10 grand for someone to say, okay, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
That's just not, you know, we're not built to do that. So I wanted to, one, create a system that allows for me to work more efficiently and better, and two, make it accessible to other PTs to stay in the field, because there are so many intelligent PTs that I think are leaving just because they're burnt out.
Yeah.
So I'm creating the first HIPAA-compliant online PT platform that basically, one, walks everyone through how I do it, and two, gives them the system that allows them to do all of it in one place. So that is my current, or one of my current passion projects that is going to be a thing launched to the public in the near future. But I am just so passionate about it, because I'm like, this is transforming healthcare. This is a new model of care, and it works. It's not, you know, this isn't a, you know, another thing to make money. This is a let's change lives sort of thing.
Yeah, I feel that from you.
That's what drives me. Yeah. Yeah. I think I feel that from both of us. You know, that's what gets us going. You know, like Leslie sends me voice memos about her clients, and, you know, how excited she is about someone experiencing something I haven't experienced before. Like, you even post it publicly all the time, and I'm just like, damn, that is so cool. You know, like sharing clients that, again, back to our point, that didn't believe they could get better, getting better.
Hope feels dangerous when you have tried so many things to get relief. And I've been there. I think we've both been there. Like, most of my clients come to me very skeptical because they have gone to the doctors with all the fancy degrees and, you know, all the specializations, and they're like, if I could just get a little relief, I'd be happy. And I'm like, babe, we're shooting for the fucking stars. Okay.
As you should.
Like, no, like, I want you to be able to go out on a date and not be anxious about how your digestive system is going to react. I want you to be able to book the vacation and feel excited and damn good about how you're going to look and feel in that bikini. I want you to step into your work day and feel like you can actually rely on your mental clarity, stability, and energy to really perform at a very high caliber. That is what this body holds, like, that is what this vessel is capable of doing. And I think so many women have just normalized, because of the society that we live in, had to normalize for the sake of their mental well-being, not feeling well and just going with the tides. And there are some women that are stepping out and saying, I unsubscribe. I do want to have energy. I do want to have a balanced body composition. I'm not just going to blame this on my genetics or aging or who I am or some diagnosis that I got. It's the women that are demanding better. And it takes that. It takes that in this world where women's bodies were literally left out of research until the 90s.
Right.
Like, don't even make me open that can of worms.
Oh my gosh, don't start the research can of worms. There are so many things I could say to research.
It's wrong. And that is really what fuels me, is my clients rebuilding their confidence. It affects everything. I mean, how you feel energetically, how you feel mentally, how you feel physically, it impacts what you magnetize into your life, the relationships that you hold. You know, I was just on an Instagram live with one of my clients today. She lost 20 pounds. She reversed 75% of her symptoms, completely healed her joint pain and her rosacea that she had been struggling with for a very long time. And all things that she had tried a million things for. And she told me straight up, she was like, Leslie, I came to you skeptical. I came to you fatigued. I came to you worn out. But she still decided to not give up. And I think that would be probably my number one message to women today is don't give up.
Yeah.
Listen to your intuition. If you know that how you're feeling feels unsustainable, don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up until you find somebody that listens.
Yes.
That gives you the time of day to understand what you've tried, what you're feeling, where you're coming from, and demand the best.
As you should.
As you should.
Yeah.
Like, as you should. Yeah.
No, I completely agree. And you'd mentioned too before, there is this process to rebuilding these women.
Yeah.
What does that look like for you?
Yeah. So for me, it also looks like listening to their story first and foremost. Like, I have all kinds of things that I want to know, but first and foremost, tell me what your story is. Like, I want to hear your perspective of your previous experience. And so I usually start with just a one-on-one safe zone conversation. And I really want to know what's going into your body, because most women think that they're eating healthy because food marketing has completely hijacked the definition of eating healthy. And like anything that has organic on it, or anything that has no sugar or no gluten or no corn or no seed, like all of the things that food marketing is doing is completely confused people that are genuinely trying to put health foods into their body. And so I really want to look at everything that they've put into their body. I also want to get an idea of what their movement and activity looks like, what their strength training looks like, if that's happening. I really want to understand how they feel from a mental agility standpoint, because the state of your mental well-being tells me a lot. The brain-gut connection is very informative. And I really want to understand, is this a hormone imbalance? Is this a gut-related imbalance? Usually those are always hand in hand. Is this a omega-3 deficiency, a magnesium deficiency, a vitamin B deficiency? And really just collect as much data as possible from them. But there really is nothing that trumps being able to get actual data, what their biomarkers are from functional lab testing. So when I onboard my clients, that's the first thing, or that's actually the second thing, is I do the intake, and then we drop into some custom recommendations on functional lab testing based upon what their symptoms are telling me. And then we build a custom healing protocol that is really tailored to them where they are and routed to where they want to be. And this is the part that makes the difference between knowing what to do and actually doing it, is having a coach to give you recommendations and then to coach you through actually implementing them and applying them in your life. So that's the significant difference. Is I've seen some clients have gone to functional doctors, phenomenal functional doctors. They loved their experience, but they also were capped on time and they didn't have the capacity to coach them. So then they send them to a dietitian to coach them. And sometimes there's discrepancies between the dietitian's preferred approach and the doctor's approach.
Absolutely.
So a pretty significant difference with my work and my clients is that you are with me, guided from intake to functional lab testing through to applying and integrating and redesigning your lifestyle A to Z. So that's really my client's experience. And I think why my clients trust me so much, because they know that they're working with me the entire time. And that's also why I don't take on a ton of clients at a time. Like, I literally only onboard no more than 3 women a month, because it is a significant dedication of time for my clients.
I empathize with that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes both of us so different, is
Yeah.
that ability to have access to us whenever we need. And I think that's the thing that I preach to all of my clients, that the PT system fails people, is that you only have very select touch points with your physio. And I remember personally experience, you'd go see your physio, you'd have whatever treatment that may be, and you'd feel good for a day, then holy shit, the next day you've got a flare up. I don't see him for another 2 weeks. What do I do?
Oh, wow.
And I don't have access to him because he's seeing damn 20 people a day.
Right.
And he doesn't have the time to help me.
Yeah.
And I remember just thinking, I don't need him for an hour. I need him when I need him. Like, I need him now.
Yes.
I didn't need him yesterday.
Yes.
I need him right now, actually. And I was like, how can I create something where people can have me whenever they need me?
On the go.
Yeah, and in a way where they're not just living in my pocket either, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's a system that both you and I have established. It's something that has unlimited touch points, because this isn't a linear journey. This is a journey that has hills and valleys. And this is what I say to everybody too. You know, people step into any sort of, working with any sort of provider. And there's this inherent expectation of, you know, once they do feel that hope, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get better.
Yes.
But they forget.
The belief starts to get reinforced
Yes.
with results and receipts.
But what comes with that is a journey.
Yes.
And I think people forget that it will be ebbs and flows. And I say to everybody, just because I have a system that you haven't tried before and I'm confident that I can get you to where I want you to be, it doesn't mean that we're not going to have bumps along the way.
Yeah.
And you know, it's expected. Like, for me, flare-ups are part of the journey. And it's this funny juxtaposition almost. You know, my client has their first flare-up on our rehab journey. They come to me freaking out. They're like, oh my gosh, I was doing so well. Holy shit, what did I do wrong? Why was it yesterday when I did this? I'm like, this is so good. Because this is data. Because the way for me to measure you getting better is to check, okay, is the intensity of the flare-up reduced? Is the time between your flare-ups increasing? And is your recovery time decreasing? I need this to happen to know if you're getting better. And then they're like, oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody tells anybody that.
Yeah.
You know, everyone preaches, like, we live in this is what frustrates me in the world that we live in right now. It's a world of quick fixes.
Oh my gosh, don't get me started.
If you have this, do this, and it will cure you.
That's what the conventional approach has programmed into society's minds. Because same exact thing with me. It's like, yeah, you can take an antibiotic to wipe out your gut and the excess yeast and bacterial overgrowth, or we can take our time and use natural methods that don't wipe out your entire microbiome, but do kill off the yeast and bacterial overgrowth without side effects.
Yeah.
And allows your body to adjust along the way.
Yes.
And the other thing is, like, I definitely do have women come to me wanting like one session. They were like, I can figure this out on my own. I just need one session, one meal plan, and you just tell me what to do and I'm going to do it. And I'm like, babe, we've been building this relationship to nutrition and movement and lifestyle for decades.
Yeah.
It takes more than one session to actually unlearn and untangle this situation and recreate a strategy that is collaborative and nourishing and aligns with a sustainable approach to actually healing the body. And so absolutely, I fully agree. It definitely takes time and it is not always linear.
Yeah, and I think to that point as well, you know, yes, we live in a world of quick fixes where people see the benefit that you and I do, and they're like, okay, well, yes, let's work with you, but just give me what I got to do and I'll go do it.
Yeah.
And people don't realize, you know, the first 3 months of working with somebody, I say to everybody, that's why I have a minimum commitment of 3 months, because that is our trial and error period.
Right.
You know, that is where I'm collecting data that whole time. And I think what people don't realize is, sure, I will start you out on this plan, but it's going to change 20 times because we are learning along the way.
Yeah.
You know, I'll give you this plan and then 1 week in, oh, okay, that didn't quite work. This did work. Okay, that made a change. Oh, that makes sense. Let me change this. So if I just left you with that one plan, are you going to get the results that I want you to get? Hell no. So you're selling yourself short.
Right. Right.
And I think that's what people need to realize. It's like, I understand, like, I am that person that I'm like, just tell me what I'll do and I'll go do it. Like, I am a really bad person when it comes to patience, you know.
Girl, that's what you and I have in common.
Yeah. I'm like, I ain't here for the long ride. Just come on, give me all the tips and I'll go do it.
Yeah,
okay?
I know.
And I'll fix myself tomorrow. But
I know.
It's sad that that's not reality.
Yeah,
and
it's not.
I need to accept that, just like everybody else does that wants to, like, you know, work with you and I.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a process.
Yeah.
And that also allows yourself to give yourself some grace and some adjustment if you want it to really stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess on that topic then, how would you describe your ideal client? Because obviously there is an ideal, right? They have to be someone that has that mindset to recognize this is a journey.
Yes.
How would you describe the person that you want to work with, or you typically work with?
I would definitely say someone that is willing to unlearn, and someone that is very open-minded. I'm not going to ask you to trust everything that I say immediately right off the jump, but I am going to ask you to be open-minded and willing to try new things. So open-mindedness is number one. I would say number two, someone willing to put in the work. Because in my work, I do not save my clients. I teach them how to save themselves.
Preach.
And that takes a certain type of person who is willing to trust, but also put in the work. You don't rebalance your hormones and stabilize your gut health from having a nutritionist. You complete and successfully attain those results by doing what your nutritionist tells you to do. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? So having me is an advantage, but doing the work is really where the real power and transformation is. So, I really, really love helping women get their energy back, rebalance their body composition, clear the brain fog, ground the nervous system, clear the cystic acne. Like cystic acne was like a huge part of my story. And it was one thing that I was scared to have belief in, that I would ever be able to live without it. And it was all rooted in hormone imbalances, but which really routes back to the gut. And I would say lastly would be, I would say open-mindedness, willing to work, and just being coachable, and willing to not just invest financially, but to invest from a time perspective and from this is going to be up to me.
It sounds like you attract that high functioning woman, because you mentioned fatigue, brain fog, bloating. It's all the things that
they ain't got time for that.
No.
They ain't got time to be foggy, not thinking clearly, speaking clearly, having the energy to stand up in front of a group of people and lead. Ain't nobody got time to be tired all the time, or to be bloated all the time. Like I speak to I've had multiple clients say to me, like, I'm tired of just trying to hide away in my blazers.
Yeah.
And that state of mind impacts how you project your energy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So rebuilding that confidence and trusting in yourself really speaks volumes through the way that you carry yourself. It absolutely impacts how you show up in your work and your relationships and your family. But I want to know for you, what is next for what Tayla's bringing to the world of physio?
I think, to put it broadly speaking, let other people do this too. Like teach people, this isn't my thing. This isn't like, oh wow, I've created something that actually works, so I'm just going to keep it to me. No. This didn't start as a money thing, and it will never be a money thing for me. It is a passion thing that, holy shit, I found another way. How can I get more people to do this, to help more people?
Yeah.
We need more people to want to help others.
Yeah.
So I think for me, broadly speaking, get the word out, teach people how this is done, give them a system to do it, and let their wings fly. What's next for you?
Building community. Yeah, I have a group coaching program called She's a Force, and I, since 2020, have been fully dedicated all to one-on-one private coaching. This year, I took really everything that I have learned in my own healing journey and everything that I've learned through my certification programs and my years of coaching, and put it into this program. And I was really skeptical about a group program approach, because I'm like, I just needs to be so customized. And I have found the sweet spot of being able to customize, but also to attract women with very similar issues that can apply my blueprint and also guide them through the whole process. And I could not have been more wrong about group coaching not being really impactful because I have seen the women inside of this program lead one another, inspire one another, pick each other up, and root for one another in a way that I could not have provided that experience alone just in one-on-one. So I love one-on-one work. There are certainly people that really desire and need that full privacy in their health journey. But my program, She's a Force, is giving so much life to me and my work and the impact that I want to make. And I am going to be launching a second round of the She's a Force program, which will be 2.0 in fall of this year. We've got multiple women on the wait list already.
Incredible.
And the results are blowing my mind.
Oh,
honestly.
yeah. I saw one of your clients in the She's the Force. It might have even been today. She looks amazing.
Yeah, girl.
I was like, dang, I need to get on She's a Force. And I think to your point too, the importance of community. You were showing me the group chat.
Yes.
Of the clients in She's a Force currently.
Yes, rooting for each other.
Gosh, that is incredible.
It's so powerful.
So powerful. The power of community is something that, I think is necessary in everything, every aspect of life, not just everything that we do, but what you've created is incredible, and I'm so excired to see that flourish because
thank you.
Yeah, we need more Leslies in the world.
We need more Taylas.
Thanks.
We're working on it. We're both working on it.
That we are.
Well, this was amazing.
So fun.
Thank you all for joining. I really hope that you found value and hope and inspiration from this conversation. And maybe it won't be the last.
Maybe it won't. Stay tuned.